there's plenty of people who've written about Lilith in the negative, and in my view, in a distorted way, in some or many cases. But here's the positive of Lilith, and Lilith is essentially, I see her as a queen. I call her the dark queen, the queen of the shadow side of your personality. All of us have Lilith in our astrology chart. Just one. And but what she represents in the positive, right, in the elevated state, is the strong and uplifted woman or feminine energy that has the capability to be facile in the non-physical, to understand what is going on in the non-physical when protection is needed. How to protect your home, how to protect your family, how to protect your children, right? That is, from women, that's, Lilith, in my view, in the non-physical. Now, there's a lot of women who are distorting, in my view. I've seen that unfortunately, I've seen it quite a lot, all right, in real life, where they're taking this type of energy and because I don't know why they do it, why they're doing it, but they're taking it to the dark side, and I do not consent to that, okay? But it's happening in a lot of women. I don't know why there's this trend right now, but I think it has something to do with the energy of Dionysus and women being under some women coming under a sort of spell or insanity or trance. But that's a story for another day, because I'm focusing on the positive side here with Lilith conjunct Venus, right? In the negative, that would be, I don't want to talk about that. In the positive, it's how do I protect what's mine? Not just from the physical, right? Venus is very much about what's valuable, but also what's valuable in the physical. She rules Taurus. But Lilith is a perfect complement to assist with that. They talk about the mama bear, and Ceres very much represents that energy of the mama bear, right? You don't want to mess with the mama bear. And to me, that's what Lilith is in the non-physical. And I think it's about time for us as women to reclaim these capabilities and stop listening to those who tell us that it can only come from a negative place, power. That's a lie. And that there's something wrong with it, because what happens is people who want to be good, who want to come from the light or whatever, they don't want to be bad. I know I'm using these terms and it's a little boring to me now, but yet this is what we've lived. Well, I don't want to do that because it's bad. A lot of times I have people say to me, especially if they're coming from the Christian side, they want to understand, how is this not bad, to do energy reading or, and I'll explain to them, I'm working with God, the Most High, the Creator, the source of the soul, the God of Jesus Christ, in my view. And I work with, I was taught, energy, as I described earlier this morning. I was taught a lot of what I do by Jesus and by other guides. I won't go into the whole thing. I talked about it this morning on that live, the meditation live. But here's the thing, okay? This is ours. This is our capability as living human beings, that we can have dominion in alignment with divine will, with God's will through us. Jesus had that. He casted negative forces out of people, and he told us we had the authority to do that. That's in scripture. So if we have the authority, it's about time we learned how to do it. And this is a core and key role of women, in my view. Now, do men have this as well? Yes. But, the male side of it, I don't think has been as distorted, because I think that there is a general respect for the concept of the shaman, which which in my view is a traditional male role. The role of the woman as mystic doing these things is what has really gotten distorted. And as women, it's time for us to recognize this. I was with a group of friends. We were doing meditation, and my girlfriend was leading it. And, you know, um, one of the people brought up, well, men really have to shift their energy. And it wasn't my thing. And I just wanted to sit and be there and not, just be in the meditative space that I was in. So I didn't say anything, but I'm saying it here because I've meant to talk about this, but when I've tried to schedule my Wisdoms of Women discussion, amazing things happen on the Schumann, and I did that instead. But it's time for us as women to shift, and it's my view that the men are now waiting for us to shift and to get our act together in this way. And the way that you do these things in a way that is godly, um, and I've already defined God, right, earlier, but the way that you do that in alignment with divine meaning of God through you, is you learn how to connect. And I shared this morning that Jesus was my guide for this, okay? And I got perfect advice, in prayer from him to do this. So you do prayer, you do meditation, you do energy work, and you learn to connect with the living soul that the creator gifted you. Okay. And then you do your protection work from that place. And that's where our authority lies. That is discussed in scripture. It comes from the divinity that we are and no other place. And a lot of people who work with these lower beings, okay, it amazes me. All right. I'm going to give you one story where I was chatting with I was chatting with a gentleman who was involved in like, you know, starting companies, the financial area in general. Okay, that's pretty vague. And it was so interesting because I was explaining an experience to him that I had. For some reason, it was related to our discussion, and it was about energy machines. And he started talking about the energy machine, and he said, "Was it?" And he gave me a couple of details, and I said, "Yes," and I knew there was no way he could know that. And then I immediately saw that he was being advised in the non-physical. Now, was it of the light or was it of the darkness? Well, I was to find out because I dreamed about it. I was given a dream about it. And then I noticed the energy. Why? Because these are the wisdoms of women. This is what we have access to, and men too. Okay, but the reason I'm focused on women so much is I think that it's time that we reclaimed this part of us, the mystic, the priestess, the woman in the home who cares for the family from the home. The home is our place, our center, our point of power, right? Where we make the safe space in the non-physical for our families. All right. And the man complements that with his physical. Now, this is a traditional role, but we have forgotten, and it's hurt us and it's hurt the children. It's really hurt the children to not have this protection. It really has hurt them, right? And I don't consent to that. I'm going to not tell stories about that, but I could. And I'm sure many of you could too, you know? And this basic structure in the family home is to, protect everyone involved and uplift everyone involved. And when we focus on the outliers too much, we do a disservice to our own selves, and we lose something. We lose something that's important, that is very, very valuable. And so Uranus square Lilith, this is the energy to face something, and not just face it. Lilith acts. and nothing stops her when she when she wants to roll out. Now, can she be a huge bitch? Yes, okay. Who hasn't done that? That's a woman. I mean, I have, okay. So we need our connection with Lilith to defend what's ours here, to stand up for ourselves because